So the spiritual principle of not taking things personally and taking responsibility for yourself is to live your own life and to walk your own path, to live with conviction, to live with passion, and to live the life that you are led to live, and to give other people the room to do the same thing and not to buy into other people's drama or issues. Give them the chance to take responsibility for their own issues. Now, one of the best examples, I think, of this is a pastor. He died in the late 90s, named Wade Watts. He was a civil rights activist, a black pastor, and he seemed to embody this truth of walking his own path and not buying into other people's drama. So the story I want to tell is an instance that took place when Wade Watts met the young guy, Johnny Lee Clary, who went on to become pretty high up in the Ku Klux Klan. The first time they met, and Johnny Lee Clary had a major conversion experience later on, which made him renounce this whole Klan background and all the racism that went with it, and he became a crusader, an evangelist for forgiveness and peace. So he's telling these stories later on, and he tells a story about the time he first met Wade Watts. Wade reached out his hand to shake Johnny's hands, and without even thinking about it, Johnny reached out and grabbed Wade Watts' hand. As soon as he'd done that, he was horrified at what he'd done, and he looked down at his hand. And Pastor Watts said to him, "Don't worry, it doesn't rub off." And at that, Johnny got enraged. He just got so incensed by that, he started calling Wade Watts all sorts of names. Everything he could think of, he started calling. And Wade Watts just smiled back and he said, "It doesn't matter what you do, Johnny. There's nothing you can do to make me hate you. There's nothing you can do to make me hate you." That's just a brilliant example of a man who understands something about this young guy's background. It's got nothing to do with him. He understood that. This kid who'd had this awful upbringing, been moved around from family to family member, ended up in the gang scene in LA and then eventually drifted into the Ku Klux Klan. I mean, this kid who'd had such a rough upbringing, all he was doing was projecting his own frustration. Wade Watts understood that. He knew that it had nothing to do with him, so he didn't take it personally, which meant that he could smile and he could reach out his hand and he could try and give love and compassion to this kid who was being so awful to him. And it's a brilliant example both of forgiveness, but also of this idea of not taking things personally, not buying into other people's issues, not allowing other people's energy to affect yours. Now, there's a phrase we often use, and that is, don't let the bastards get you down. Also, don't let the bastards grind you down. Now, I understand what that phrase means, but there's a variation on that phrase that I find even more helpful, and I understand it comes from the Celtic tradition. And it says, your enemies feed on your energy, so starve them. Or maybe you could say, starve the bastards. Your enemies feed on your energy, so starve them. Well, that's a brilliant phrase. Don't give your enemies, don't give your detractors, don't give your doubters, don't give the haters anything to work with.